Morning children, welcome back to e-learning classes of P.N.AMERSEY High School. Hope you all are safe. So children, let's begin our chapter number 7 of supplementary reader, which is Chandni. Children, first of all, let me tell you who is Chandni. Chandni is a pet goat of Abu Khan who lives in Almora. Children, this is really very interesting story, so let's move ahead. Once upon a time, there lived an old man in Almora. He was popularly known as Abu Khan, means his name was Abu Khan. He lived all alone except for a few goats which he always kept as pets. Children, we all also love pets. This Abu Khan, he loves goats to keep as his pets. He gave his goats funny names such as Kalua, Mungia or Gujri. He would take them out for grazing during the day and talk to them as one talks to one's own children. At night, he would bring them back to his little hut and put a string round the neck of each goat. So children, with the first paragraph, we all come to know that Abu Khan loved his goats very much and he named them like Kalua, Mungia, Gujri, and he sent them for grazing during the daytime, means whole day they were free outside, but at night he string round the neck and keep all the goats at some safe place. Children, Abu Khan was little unlucky in the matter of his goats. Very often what happened, these goats would pull and pull the string that it broke loose, and then they disappear in the hills beyond. Goats in hilly region hates being tied to trees or poles. They love their freedom. Now children, whoever, whether an animal or bird or human being, nobody likes being tied somewhere. Everybody like freedom. All have right to be free. Here same thing happens with these goats. They all wanted to run away in hills and be free, live their life with their own choice. But children, whenever one of Abu Khan's goats disappeared, Abu Khan was really very sad. He didn't understand why even the juiciest grass and grains that he gave them and the love he gave them could not stop those goats from running away. He didn't understand. This was mystery to him, that what's wrong with those goats is that they are mad or it was their love for freedom, so that straight away they go to the jaws of death. Jaws of death means children, on those hills there lived a wolf who was always waiting for these goats one by one. As they go there, he used to kill and eat them. Abu Khan already shared the story of the wolf on the hills to the goats. Still goats like to go to the hills just to be free. Everybody like their freedom. So children, one by one all goats are going, and one day what happened? One day when all the goats had left him, Abu Khan said to himself, "No more goats in my house, ever again. I may yet live for a few more years, but I live without goats." Now he is so disappointed, children. He is saying to himself, "I don't want any pet, no goats anymore." However, the poor old man was terribly lonely. See children, earlier only we comes to know that he lives alone. He felt very lonely. He simply couldn't do without his pets. Sometimes we are so habitual with our pets, we can't live without them. So here children, same thing happens with Abu Khan. What happened now? A young goat will stay with me much longer, he thought, and he very soon bought a young goat. She will soon begin to love me as well as the food I give her every day. She'll never want to go to the hills, and he laughed with joy. Here when Abu Khan feels very lonely, he bought a young goat, means very small in age. He thought that I love that goat so much that this goat will never leave me. I'll give very good food to the goat. The new goat was very pretty. She was white as snow and had two little horns on her head and a pair of gleamed red eyes. She had a friendly temperament and would listen to Abu Khan's tales with a lot of interest and affection. Abu Khan called her Chandni, which means moonlight. He loved Chandni and would narrate to her stories all of his friends who were dead and gone. Here, Abu Khan loved his Chandni so much that he shared his friend's story to her, and even Chandni paid a lot of interest and affection to Abu Khan's tales. Several years passed. Chandni was still there. Abu Khan believed that Chandni would never leave his compound for the free and fresh air of the hills beyond. Alas, he was mistaken again. Children, when Abu Khan bought this goat, it was too young, and this goat listened the stories of Abu Khan with a lot of interest. Even the goat loved Abu Khan very much. Now Abu Khan believed that this Chandni will never leave his compound and she is going to stay with him for the long life. But children, what happened? This time also Abu Khan was mistaken. Every morning Chandni watched the hilltops bathe in sunlight. How beautiful those hills are, she thought. How refreshing the breeze that blows through them, and how lovely to run across those green fields. She ran towards the hills but had to stop with a jerk. The rope round her neck would not let her go any further. How she hated that rope. Children, as Chandni also grew elder, she wanted to go on those hills. She stopped grazing, she stopped eating anything and lost her appetite. She frankly told Abu Khan, "Let me go to those hills. I want my freedom." Now Abu Khan understood what's the problem. What is the matter with Chandni? Why is she so upset and unhappy? Abu Khan asked Chandni why she want to go there. Chandni replied, "I want to go to the hills. Don't you like the food here? I'll give you tastier food and the much longer rope." "No, thank you. Let me go to the hills," Chandni replied. Then Abu Khan warned her, "There is a dangerous wolf in the hills. He'll eat you up." Abu Khan did his best to warn her. Chandni answered, "God has given me a pair of horns. I'll fight the wolf." "Fight the wolf? Indeed, have you forgotten the story of your sister Kalua, who was the size of a big deer? She fought the wolf through the night, but she was killed in the morning." Abu Khan narrated Kalua's story for the 15th time. As already Chandni knew the story of Kalua because this story was narrated to her before also for 15 times. All to this, Chandni had only one thing to say, "I want to go to the hills." Children, here Abu Khan was really very angry with his goat Chandni and he pushed her into a small hut and shut the door. But he forgot to close a small window at the back. At the same night, Chandni made that window her passage to freedom. What happened, children? Chandni ran away from that window and went directly to those hills, as if those hills are standing in a row to welcome her. She felt that as if a child met her parents after years of separation. Children, when she was free, she played for hours on the grassy slopes of the hills. She met a herd of wild goats who asked her to join their group, but Chandni politely refused. She wanted to enjoy her new freedom all by herself. Now here Chandni is all alone as the sun disappeared behind the hills and soon darkness enveloped the grass, the flowers and the trees. The wind stopped blowing. There was a stillness all around except for a strange sound which was coming from the bushes. The sound was like a grunt. What it was? It wasn't Abu Khan's voice calling her back to the compound, nor was it the voice of any another goat. Then Chandni thought of the dangerous wolf who lived in the hills. Should she go back to the safety of Abu Khan's hut? No, she said to herself. Death in an open field is far better than the life in a small hut. Children, Chandni decided to fight the wolf. The wolf was very big in the size and Chandni was small. But small is not weak. She stood firm on her legs, head slightly bent and horns jutting out. She was the picture of courage. She looked like a brave soldier ready to fight a treacherous enemy. I must put up a good fight, Chandni thought. Success or failure, it's a matter of luck or chance. Fight began. It went on through the night. It continued whole night. A faint light appeared in the east and the morning call for prayer came from the distant mosque. Children, here Chandni gave a very good fight whole night. She was completely soaked in blood. The wolf, also tired and sleepy, was getting ready to devour her. And here's children, an assembly of birds perched on top of a tree nearby was debating, means they were watching this fight whole night. Who is the winner? One of them asked. The wolf, of course, most of them said. But a wise old bird declaimed with confidence that Chandni is the winner. So children, this is really very interesting story written by Zakir Hussain. Let's have a look once again. This story is about Abu Khan and his freedom-loving goats. Abu Khan lived in Almora, Uttarakhand with his pet goats. He treated them like his children and often talked to them. He took them grazing during the day. At night, he tied them up with a rope in his hut. Although Abu Khan loved his goats and fed them well, they did not like being tied up. They loved to be free, so one by one they left him and went away to the hilltop. Abu Khan felt sad because he knew that the wolf would eat them. After all his goats had left him, Abu Khan decided not to have any pets. But he missed living with his goats so much that he got a beautiful white little goat. He named her Chandni and shared stories of his dear friends with her. For many years, Chandni lived happily with Abu Khan. Chandni was fascinated by the beauty of the sun shining on the hills and the breeze blowing through the trees. She wondered what it would be like to run up there. She wanted to be free. She soon stopped eating grass and listening to Abu Khan's stories. One day she requested Abu Khan to set her free so that she could go to the hills. Abu Khan was heartbroken. He warned her that the wolf would eat her, but Chandni was determined to have her freedom. She assured Abu Khan that she would use her horns to fight the wolf. Abu Khan reminded Chandni that one of his goats named Kalwa had died fighting the wolf, although she was as big as a deer. When Chandni insisted on going to the hills, Abu Khan locked her in a small hut. At night, Chandni escaped from a window that Abu Khan had forgotten to close. Chandni played on the green slopes all day long. She refused to join a pack of wild goats because she wanted to enjoy her freedom alone. When the day turns into night, everything became quiet. Chandni heard a strange grunt and remembered the wolf Abu Khan had warned her about. She was scared, but she did not want to go back to Abu Khan. She decided to fight the wolf and she fought him all night. When morning dawned, Chandni was bleeding heavily from her wounds. The wolf was tired of fighting and was waiting to eat her. The flock of birds sitting on a tree were witness to the tough fight Chandni had put up all night. A wise bird confidently proclaimed that the Chandni and not the wolf who had won the fight. Children, at last Chandni was decided as a true fighter for her freedom. So children, this was really very interesting story written by Zakir Hussain about a pet goat. I hope you all enjoyed the story well. I'll send you the PDF as soon as it is possible. Till then, stay safe. Thank you and have a nice day.